Hello everybody and welcome back to the Four Quarter Talk podcast with myself, Jack Brazil, and my co-host, as always, Josh Mazoke. Say what's up, Josh?
Yo, what's good going?
And we're joined again by our big Lithuanian friend, Matas Baranauskas. How are you, Matas?
I'm good, thank you.
Rocking the Guinness top today, love that.
Yep.
I might need one myself. Recently got into the Guinness, but anyway. How is everyone today?
Doing well.
Bit of a later start than we expected, but you know.
Yeah, it was surprising that I came in first.
Yeah,
so
for once.
Yeah, 1 for 3.
Yep.
Let's make this a habit.
Yeah. Sure.
You can lead by example. Anyway, let's get straight into today's episode. And last Thursday, the All-Star starters were announced. And there was one big surprise in there that I think everybody saw straight away. And it's a credit to Dub Nation because those guys are the kings of getting someone who doesn't deserve votes.
Yeah, for real. How does Steph make it over Debo?
I was thinking more Zaza Pachulia, but they got Andrew Wiggins into the All-Star game as a starter. Shout out to positional voting, otherwise this would not have been possible. You are the real MVP.
Maple Jordan prophecy fulfilled.
Yeah.
No, shout out to Bam Bam, the K-pop artist.
Yeah, K-pop came
because
through,
he
man.
tweeted, and then, as you know, K-pop stands
Yeah,
are
yeah.
meant
I saw
to
him
end.
trending
They just
Twitter,
went
yeah.
I saw him trending all that.
Yeah, and like Andrew Wiggins he was asked after the game, "Oh, do you know who he is?" I don't know. I didn't know, but now I will remember him.
Why did that K-pop?
No idea.
So-
I have no idea.
Because he's like a Warriors ambassador.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they know how to they finesse the system.
Yeah,
You know what's
literally.
funny? Two things with that though is that so in the first voting returns, like K-pop were getting Steph Curry a lot of, like he would have got a lot of votes anyway, but like an unreal amount of votes. And then like the LeBron fans took it personally, like they made him trending like every day.
They came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, they came back with a vengeance. So LeBron beat K-pop basically.
Okay. that's another accolade to the legacy.
And also a lot of Twitter accounts like caught onto it, so they were like using it to like finesse it. So they would tweet something about a Warriors player, but use the hashtag of a different player.
Okay.
And get K-pop to like retweet that that tweet.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would officially count towards another
To
player.
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's very smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, Andrew Wiggins is officially an All-Star starter. What do we think about this? Obviously, Andrew Wiggins is having a great season, but I don't think anyone in their right mind thinks that it's an All-Star starter caliber season. It's 18 points per game on 47% from the field, 42% from three. So he's being very efficient. We can give him that. But if efficiency got you in the All-Star game, then people like Hassan Whiteside and Rudy Gobert would be All-Star starters. But nevertheless, what do we think of this? Is it part of a bigger problem of fan voting and positional voting, or how has this been allowed to happen basically?
yeah, fan voting, it's always going to be a factor. As I've said, I think you kind of have to keep them involved. You have to keep them feeling like they matter. And this is one of those. You know, it's an exhibition. It's the All-Star game, so you have to have one of these a year. With how big the NBA is growing globally, down to the fan base, you have to make them feel like they have a say in something.
Yep.
The positional thing, though, that's definitely an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if you look at basketball as a whole today, it's becoming more and more positionless, as we all know. You've had Alex Caruso starting at power forward for the Chicago Bulls for large parts of the season. So you know that basketball isn't really a positional game anymore. So yeah, I think if you just pick like the best 20-25 players and just have a draft pool, select two captains, that would get rid of issues like this, and it would make it more fun for the viewer as well. Because if we're being honest, Andrew Wiggins can be a fun player, but I think there's other people I would rather see in that spot. Matas, what do you think? How do you think this problem can be solved by the NBA? If it is a problem at all.
Well, it is kind of a problem. Well, we saw with Zaza Pachulia a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think that like made the issue, because imagine Zaza Pachulia averaging like 3 points per game, being an All-Star starter over Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins. So
It's basically an MMA fighter at one point.
yeah, exactly. So
But to be fair, like, this has always been a factor, so it kind of does make it unfair if you keep moving the goalpost for players now, because I'm sure over the years there's definitely been a lot of players that didn't deserve it. Like the great Kobe Bryant, he he was an All-Star starter one year when he wasn't even a starter in the NBA, and he made the All-Star team based off popularity and based off the Lakers brand. So
yeah. So do you think instead of being able to vote for every player, the NBA should give you a pool of players that you have to vote for All-Star starter?
Yeah, but someone like Wiggins probably gonna be in that pool because he has good season.
How do you do?
He's having a good
how do you
season.
do it? Because what would it be like? With with statistical races like NBA scoring title and stuff like that, where you have to qualify with a certain amount of stats, but then it goes both ways. Because then how do you get a Draymond Green and things like that? So how do you determine?
No, but I'm not saying for the whole game. I'm saying just for the starters. You have a pool of players that can be voted in as a starter.
How do you determine that, and when do you determine that?
I think obviously you have to kind of look at it how you would look at an All-Star vote anyway. Look at who's the most deserving, which teams are winning. So for example,
Trae Young is not winning. The Hawks are winning, but he's a starter.
Yeah, but his stats are unbelievable, so you can look past that.
Yeah, but who's winning?
You can't look past that.
No, but I'm saying it's a factor. If you have two players that are neck and neck, I would give the advantage to the winning player. But if you're averaging 27 and 9 like Trae Young is, which are unbelievable numbers, and only X amount of players in NBA history have ever put up those same numbers, then you could look past that.
Who decides this pool?
Coaches?
Are they smarter than that?
Coaches they're picking reserves.
Yeah, because coaches are biased. Like, coaches have their own thing, because coaches just go by winning. That's where I thought Andrew Wiggins would come through. Normally you get those types of players that come through when it comes to the reserves, because they just pick the winningest players.
Yeah.
So
I would say because fan votes is 50% now.
Yeah.
I think they should lower that then fans. They impact it, but they don't impact to that level.
Because you don't want to take away their power completely.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
it's all sides like for the fans.
Yeah, that's what makes the NBA such an attractive league for the fans. Is that you don't really see any other sports league in the world give as much power to their fans.
I don't know though, because who's to say that the fans? Look, you have fans that make their own decisions, but if we look up and down, it hasn't been that bad. And then you'll see media votes come public, player votes come public, and you see players voting for Grayson Allen, you see players voting for themselves, voting for random players. So, I mean, they voted for players as a joke, their 15th man and stuff like that. And then you see the media every year with awards. You hear that. Klay Thompson wasn't even on people's ballots for defensive, like all defensive teams for years, things like that. So who deserves, who has more merit to make these decisions?
But as you said, if everyone's going to treat it like a joke, right? The All-Star game isn't just an exhibition. You've said in the past that it has implications on contracts and legacy and things like that. If it has those massive implications, maybe it's time to take this vote a little bit more seriously.
This is a 76
Don't make it Twitter. Don't make it Twitter hashtag retweet. Because that gets
but then how else do you reach the fans?
On Twitter, but don't make our hashtag and then retweet. You get a vote.
That is
just
one
go
thing.
on the page and vote.
Because anyway, this is what last year was the 75th. No, this is the 75th anniversary. And I don't know how many years an All-Star has been in place. So, and I don't think there's been that much scrutiny towards votes in the past. I don't think fans have got less mature by any means. Like, I think these things just.
I don't know about that. If you look at Twitter, there's quite a few specimens on there.
I'm sure there was a lot of ratio kids back in the 80s that just didn't have the platform.
How did they vote back in the day? Just like wrote in a ballot.
They didn't have.
Probably.
I don't know.
They just didn't have the platform yet. Oh, they probably did like a text thing, like.
Oh yeah.
Text blah 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 to this number or whatever. But it's a tough one. I guess you could make it more difficult to vote, so that if you have to put effort into vote, like if you have to go on the website to vote, then I guess.
But then again, that could stop people from voting altogether. Like if it's too difficult.
People who want to see All-Star game, they will vote.
Nah, people will vote.
Did you vote? Once?
I voted, of course.
Yeah,
I voted.
exactly.
Yeah, of course. And you know who I had in there as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of a larger problem. I think there's obviously bigger problems facing this league, so it's not something the NBA has to urgently review. But when it does have stuff like people being eligible for supermaxes and stuff like that,
this isn't the first time, because remember in Westbrook's MVP season he wasn't even an All-Star starter.
Yeah.
So like these things happen.
And
it does balance
you have
out.
such a big advantage, obviously, if you're in a big market. Like someone like, for example, Westbrook, because he's not from the biggest market team, but he's putting up historic numbers, versus someone like Steph Curry, say he's in a slump. Steph Curry's going to get the more votes because he's in a big market and he's a big name. But like, there's a lot of players, as you said, Jonas Valanciunas.
Yeah.
Maybe if he played for the Lakers and was putting up the same numbers, he'd get way more consideration to be an all-star.
Probably.
But I think, sorry to break your heart,
Yeah,
but I think this year he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, if he was in the Lakers, he wouldn't take like 50 shots a game.
He doesn't. Okay. I'm not
I'm
going.
my fantasy. It's a joke, man.
But yeah, speaking of Steph Curry, that brings us swiftly on to our next topic. And you very rightly shut me down last week when I said that Steph Curry deserves to be an all-star starter. And that's because he's been booty cheeks, to put it kindly. He's been terrible since about November. Started the season really hot, and people instantly thrust him into that MVP conversation.
There was a time when all of us had him as like,
Yeah, he was. He was.
He was like, he's
it was
running away
him,
with
KD,
this.
and Giannis at the start of the season.
Yeah.
yeah, and he was a couple steps ahead of them too.
Yeah, he was.
It was his to lose.
It was his to
Exactly.
And
lose.
he has.
Yeah, and he's lost it in a big way.
Yeah. Not yet, but yeah, probably.
Well, so it's 38% from the field since November, with 34% from three.
Yes.
Find out his stats before that as well.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in a crazy slump. I saw a segment. I think they were talking pre-game about him, and they were like, "Oh, he's had such a bad January," but that is understating it terribly. Because
He's had a bad December, bad.
you
Yeah,
know,
exactly. And for a player of Stephen Curry's caliber, because you shine so much light when it is going well, I think it's only right. We're only doing our service to shine light when it's going bad as well, because any other player would not be held from this criticism.
Yeah, you have to be held to
higher standards.
If people call him a top 15 player, you have to be held to a top 15 all-time player standard. You're you're known for being the greatest shooter of all time. So if you're playing this badly, that's got to be, you've got to be held to that standard.
Did you know that Russell Westbrook currently has a higher field goal percentage than Steph Curry this season?
Yeah, that ended the episode last week.
It did.
Yeah, I think at the start of the season, obviously he was playing at MVP front runner level, and then
that month of November he was maybe one of the best months of his career.
Yeah,
he was insane in November.
Yeah, he was kind of picking up from where he left the year before, but they were winning.
Can you pinpoint a moment where that changed? Was there an event or something where it just switched?
I'm not sure. I think he started having like a couple bad games, like not great games. Let's say I wouldn't say bad, but not great games. And then that pressure came from beating the record.
Yeah,
because he was decently far away from it, but just the expectations that we have of Curry. You know, as soon as he was at 16 away from the record, we were already saying, "Oh, he'll beat it this game."
Yeah,
which is a lot to say when the record's like
30, 14.
Yeah, I think Klay Thompson hit 14 against the Bulls.
I think he did. At least
that was headband Klay. I remember that.
Yeah, at least it wasn't 60 points on like 11 dribbles. But,
oh, okay. I thought you were gonna dig deep on me there. I thought you were gonna go for the. Yeah, let's not.
That would have been a cheap shot. That would have been too easy. But I think Curry obviously had that 40-point game the other night, so people are kind of saying, "Oh, this is the end of the slump."
We've had about 3-4 games during this slump.
That would end of the slump. The game winner was the end of the slump. Yeah. His first ever career buzzer beater was the end of the slump. Yeah,
they were celebrating that more than they celebrated a couple of their trips with KD.
I do think though, in the long run, obviously having Klay Thompson back is only going to help Steph Curry get back to where he was, and obviously those two are going to have to find time to adjust to each other again.
Those are two factors. That one because since Klay's been out, he has, like someone said, he's been the best option whether he's contested or open, and now he has to get used to the fact that I'm hoping Klay is a better option than him contested, because he's had to take on because Klay's been out for almost 2 years, so during that time Steph was getting used to taking all those wild shots and things like that, and now he has to kind of start to share it a bit more. And then also now it hasn't helped with Draymond being out. Draymond gets him such open looks the synergy that they have with each other creates easier shots for Steph, which he's not being able to get right now with some of the other players out there as well.
Here's a stat for you. Before this 40-point game the other night, Steph Curry hadn't had back-to-back 50% shooting games since November, and he had missed 95 of his last 135 threes. Now, if you hear that, if you heard that stat without putting a name to it, the last player you're thinking of is Stephen Curry. It just shows you how uncharacteristic this little slump has been for him, and I think it's probably the worst of his career, especially when he's now on such a high pedestal. But obviously the Warriors, they haven't fallen off too much. They're still right there at the top. They've been winning
in spite of it.
Exactly, they're still winning, and that's. I mean,
because of Andrew Wiggins.
That makes them more dangerous.
But there was a period we were very critical of Steve Kerr, but how much of that is due to his rotations and his proactiveness in games?
I mean, I'm thinking we're so shocked about Andrew Wiggins being an All-Star starter, but is he starting to make his MVP case?
I think Draymond Green needs a little bit of consideration for that as well.
Draymond Green really is
I think
next to Steph.
You only see Draymond Green's one of those players you only really truly appreciate his value if you watch him.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the box score and you see he had 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists, you'll be like, that's a normal Draymond game. But the Warriors still won by 20. Yeah. How has that happened? Because he's playing elite defense, because he's making the right reads. His IQ is probably his biggest strength, obviously. And obviously his fit with Clay and Curry is a match made in heaven. That's why they've won 3 titles together. So I think Draymond Green is low-key the MVP of that team.
He might be, because he brings so many things to that team. Obviously, his defense is elite, all-time elite.
Yeah.
His offense, as a playmaker, he is a system. As much as Steph is a system, he's making those reads. He's getting players involved, and as a leader, he's a clear leader of that team as well. He's taken Andrew Wiggins under his wing. I remember a lot of players would testify to the fact that he as soon as Andrew Wiggins arrived in Golden State, he was saying, "You are an elite defender." Like he made sure to get everything out of Wiggins possible, because there was all those concerns about his potential and him not living up to it, him not having a motor, and Draymond made sure to get that completely out of him. So Draymond is so much to that team, tangibly and intangibly.
Get a bit close to the mic.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely being felt, him not being there. But there was a report the other day that he's recovering pretty well now.
Yeah, and I would say, as you said, Curry were in the slump, but they're still winning. Everyone else stepped up, like Jordan Poole.
Kuminga's been good.
Been playing well. Payton the third, Gary Payton the third, he's played well defensively.
What a great acquisition that was, by the way, Gary Payton the third.
But he was cut from the Warriors 2 times.
Yeah, and he's bounced around the league.
Yeah, exactly. But he's playing well for them this season.
I want to see him in the dunk contest. He can fly.
Yeah, they got the wrong Warrior.
Yeah, they got the wrong Warrior.
Yeah.
When I saw that list, they got
Toscano
Anderson.
He's in the. Well, I didn't even see the list.
Yeah, there's Cole Anthony.
It's a bad list, man.
Is it?
Yeah,
Cole Anthony, Jalen Green, Toscano Anderson, and Obi Toppin again.
Ooh. I think Jalen Green will be fun.
Jalen Green and I think Cole Anthony will be interesting as well.
Yeah, Cole Anthony will be good as well.
Yeah, he can fly, but
it's just
I don't want to see Obi Toppin again. He didn't really impress me that much.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, that doesn't really matter, if we be honest. Dunk contest hasn't really been good since.
I hope it's better than last year.
Yeah, last year was maybe one of the worst ever. Obviously, because there was no crowd as well. That never helps. But
can't believe doing the All-Star last season, just
doing the All-Star game without fans, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's like a literal exhibition game. Just
literally a scrimmage, basically.
Yeah,
pretty much.
At least Sabonis won skill challenge. Won 40.
Can you do it with a crowd?
Can you do it with the pressure of the crowd? Though?
Some bubble skills challenge win. Some Mickey Mouse skill challenge win.
I think it's gonna be in this year as well.
Yeah, probably. They always
because they do bigs against the guards.
Yeah.
So
and he's one of those
skillful guys.
Basically, if you're from Europe and you've got more than 5 assists in a game, you're viewed as a skilled big man. So.
Shots. But nah, having the bigs have kind of
They've won it the last 3 times, I think, haven't they?
Yeah.
No,
Or last 2 times at least.
2 times because Tatum won.
Was he not considered a big?
Maybe I can't remember now.
Okay.
He shouldn't.
Why are we talking about the skills challenge? Why are we talking about the skills challenge? Well, speaking of the Warriors, I think it's only right that we finally speak about their biggest rival in the West, which is the number 1 seed and the best team in the NBA currently, Phoenix Suns. Already reached that 40-win mark in February.
41.
Only have 9 losses on the season. Currently in the midst of an 11-game win streak, led obviously by their star guard tandem of Chris Paul and Devin Booker, who both of them over the last 2-3 months have been insane. Both of them have gone nuclear. We were speaking about this a little bit off camera, but I think a lot of this success is attributed to Chris Paul, and obviously Chris Paul has been insane and a large reason for their success, and it seems that wherever Chris Paul goes, wins follow. But is enough being said about Devin Booker?
No, I don't think so. So Chris Paul, he came to OKC. We had a tremendous season with him, and his impact is different. He's got that Draymond type impact in terms of leadership, taking players under his wing and things like that. And when the Suns traded for him and signed Jay Crowder, it was clear that they were taking a step forward and a shift in their culture. But you can't understate the fact that Devin Booker is such a big part of that team as well, because it almost became a meme about every time a player on the Suns did anything good, it was like, Chris Paul's influence Ayton into getting that rebound and things like that. So
Devin Booker could like save a baby from a fire, and they'd be like, Chris Paul was there to support him.
Yeah, like obviously his impact is big, but let's not act like because Chris Paul arrived there that he's everything that happened.
Of course not.
Because if they had Chris Paul and no Devin Booker, and then Devin Booker signed, it would have a similar impact.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, so.
And I think a lot of credit has to go to Monty Williams as well. He's had a massive impact since he's been there. Getting the best out of DeAndre Ayton, especially, is what I can point to, because DeAndre Ayton always had that potential, but we weren't sure if he could be the center on a winning team, and he showed that he can be, and he fits seamlessly with Chris Paul. Obviously, Chris Paul has a reputation for making big men better, but DeAndre Ayton's really he sticks to what he's good at. He's obviously a rim runner and a rebounder, and he does that at an elite level. Also, Mikal Bridges has been fantastic. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league, and shoots at a high clip as well.
One of the best defenders, period.
Yeah.
I was listening to the JJ Redick podcast, and he was talking about how he is the anchor. Normally, the anchor of the defensive anchor of a team is the big, but the way he switches and the way he affects the whole floor, even at his size, there are positions where he guards big men. So he really does guard 1 through 5. So he's one of the best defenders in the league, period. And he'll definitely be a first team all defensive player.
100%. And when we speak about Devin Booker, obviously a lot of his value comes from his scoring, which he's been doing at an elite level recently. 32 points per game since that famous Raptor incident. Obviously, that gave him the chip on his shoulder that he needed. But yeah, and it's. I think a lot of a team's success is going to come in the clutch, especially in the playoffs. And when you have 2 elite level closers like the Suns have, possibly 2 of the best in the entire league, that's such a weapon that you can deploy, and that's why the Suns are the best clutch team in the NBA right now, and are on pace for a historic season, and probably one of their most winningest seasons in franchise history. So, why do you think the media doesn't give enough shine to the Suns? Because the Suns have been good now since the start of the bubble. But you never hear them mentioned like the Warriors or the Nets or the Bucks. Even the Bulls have probably got more media time than
they went to the finals last
year. The Lakers have got more, and they're
Lakers for obvious reasons. Why? Because it's Lakers and they're playing bad.
Yeah, that's the point, though, isn't it? That's the point.
Yeah,
I think it's because it's Suns. It's just because it's Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and also
smaller franchise.
Exactly.
Their path to the finals last year kind of looked like it was a bit of a fluke.
because
the teams
everyone
they
got
went
injured,
through.
yeah,
Everyone
every
got
injured
hurt.
team.
Yeah.
So they're kind of having, the Warriors 2016 season where when they made the finals the first time, everyone was like, wasn't all of their point guards were hurt in every series that they played against, with the Grizzlies, everyone that they played. And so they had that chip on their shoulder. Even though they won the finals, they had the chip on their shoulder going to that 73-9 season where they were like, let's prove it, let's do it again. And they're looking like the favourites to make the finals again. So
I think it's better for them that no one talks. Like they just keep winning quietly.
Yeah.
Like they have that. Like okay, you don't want to talk about us. Okay, we just keep.
Well, you have seen teams in the past like suffer from national TV syndrome, where it's like you start the season bad, you don't have many nationally televised games, then you get on TV and then it all starts to crumble a little bit when people start talking to you. I can even think of the Bulls. I don't think we've won yet on TNT, but that did also coincide with all our injuries. But still, I think a lot of teams can benefit from just working in silence and kind of just getting along with their game. They don't need media narratives popping up and maybe affecting team chemistry. Because like if the media was harping on this, why isn't Devin Booker getting as much recognition as Chris Paul? That could affect Devin Booker's how he plays and his confidence. But it's clear that they're on a one-track focus, and that focus is to win a championship. And I'm not sure if anyone on this table can say that there's a player they'd like to see win a championship more than Chris Paul. I think he's an all-time great. Obviously, maybe,
I know.
maybe
But
one of
yeah,
your Lithuanian boys. But if we're talking about securing a legacy and someone who's given so much to the game for so long, I think a title would just put a nice little bow in Chris Paul's legacy. If it's not the Bulls, I'm rooting for the Suns, I think, out west. And yeah, I just like a lot of their pieces as well. Obviously, Jay Crowder was a big miss for them, but they've been able to replace him seamlessly.
Did he play yesterday, Jay Crowder? I'm pretty sure he came back.
Did he?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I think the last game they played. I'm pretty sure he came back. Because I saw that.
Jay Crowder though, I think he's one of the better role players in the league.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because you saw his value when he was on the Heat as well in that bubble run.
Also, shout out to JaVale McGee. He's having one of the best, off the bench big man seasons of all time. He's looking like a great role player right now.
He doesn't need a lot of minutes to do a lot.
And he's since he signed with the Warriors.
Jay Crowder is back. He played last game.
Since he signed with the Warriors a few years back, he's kind of reinvented his career as being that great big man role player on championship teams.
And that's another thing when we talk about media. His career could have been destroyed by this whole Shaq and the Fool crusade that was set against him, but it looked like it only made him stronger, and he's been a better player for it, and he's got a lot of championship experience as well, winning that title with the Lakers. And the Suns are going to need that if they want to go one step further than they did last year.
And Phoenix Suns they have third highest odds to win the title by the bettors.
Can we guess who's above them?
The Nets being
Go and
first.
guess.
I was going to guess. I was going to guess the Nets first.
How Nets are first? I don't know.
Is it Nets and Bucks?
Nets and the Warriors.
Okay.
That's
then
ridiculous,
Bucks,
man.
then Heat.
That's ridiculous.
Who would you lot take? Let's say both teams are at full strength.
Yeah.
Who are you taking in a Suns Warriors series?
By full strength, you mean
Everyone's healthy. Everyone's healthy.
no, not just healthy though. Like, is Clay in? What form is Clay in?
Clay
He's playing well.
Clay is like, he's not 2016 Clay, but he's what you would expect from
healthy Clay.
Mid-season form.
Mid-season, but coming off a large injury, Clay. But he's like, he's strung a run of games together, and he's healthy.
I'll probably still take.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough because of the backcourt matchup.
Yeah.
That would be a very good backcourt matchup.
I would lean towards the Warriors because they know how to get it done.
I would also lean towards the Warriors.
Yeah, same, because I think
They're more proven.
yeah, and like defensively with like Draymond Green.
We've
and
seen that
everyone.
formula work.
Yeah.
We've seen it work. This is because now they've reverted back to a 2016 style of play with the
ball
role
movement
players, with the ball movement and everything, and we know that is something that works. So yeah, we don't know about
By the way,
subject.
OKC did not last in the odds. The second last.
So we still have a chance.
But yeah, every time I've seen the Warriors and Suns play this year, it just looks like a Western Conference Finals preview. Like they're always right down to the wire. They're always going toe to toe. So I really do hope we get that series. That could be an all-time series. And I think if Chris Paul got eliminated by Steph Curry again, I think he'd retire from the game of basketball.
I think if Warriors and Grizzlies match up, because Grizzlies lately they've been like beating
unbelievable.
Warriors. Yeah,
we need that. We need that. That would be just breakup for real.
Yeah. Because what's the last year play-in? Grizzlies beat the Warriors. Yeah.
That's a little like underrated rivalry. Those two.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Well, do we think the Grizzlies are serious? How far do we think the Grizzlies can go? Because obviously, again, a very young team. Only one play. This current group only has one playoff appearance.
Well, at the moment, they would play against Denver Nuggets.
See, it really depends who the Nuggets get back.
It's the matchup. But if they stay high, if they keep that third seed, they've got to hope for a bit of luck. But it is one of the things that if they can get a matchup that helps them get into the second round, and then maybe by that point they have a bit of momentum, they have a bit of like confidence in each other. But it might be a bit early for them.
Well, speaking of the Grizzlies, we have to talk about Desmond Bane. What he did yesterday. Yeah, have you seen this?
No.
So the date yesterday was the 2nd of February 2022. Yeah. Desmond Bane's stat line. Let me just get it up. If anyone has it on hand. But Desmond Bane had. Hold on. Let it load. Where is it? Desmond Bane yesterday shot 22.2% from the field.
Wow.
With 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 2 turnovers.
Wow. And it was 2 fouls as well, wasn't it?
And it was 2 fouls as well. And he wears number 22.
Oh, wow.
Man, when I woke up, because I've got him on my fantasy team, I woke up to the thing was that it was like he has like a historic stat line or something, and I'm thinking, it doesn't I'm like, he must have got me like 70 plus fantasy points, and I see this.
How many fantasy points did he get you?
15, unfortunately.
I mean,
not 22.
Better than
for
that stat line, I thought it would be less than that.
Like 22.
Imagine.
Yeah, that is crazy. The fact that he also wears number 22 as well is that is insane. But I think the Grizzlies are, for me, the most exciting team to watch in the NBA.
Yeah, at least one of the most exciting.
Especially when you have, obviously, Ja Morant just by himself. You could put him on the court with 4 grannies and you still tune in to watch them. That's how much of a he's a player that is built for the All-Star game, literally. Ja Morant is built for the All-Star game. I would have loved to see him in the dunk contest, but he's not. I don't think he's really that type of dunker.
I'm pretty sure he said, "Give me $1 million and I'll be in."
I think he's more like a Westbrook type dunker though, like
I can definitely see it.
Do you know what I mean?
The way he gets up though, like with some of the stuff that he tries in games, I'm sure he could pull something off in the dunk contest.
And his vertical is unbelievable. If there was they should do a layup contest. That would be sick. That would be sick.
To be fair, you can pull up, do a great layup.
Yeah, and Ja Morant is
360s,
like the master of that.
Yeah. He ain't beating Kyrie.
Ooh, that'd be a matchup.
Yeah, but what was I gonna say? We need Gobert in the All-Star game just so we can see Ja try dunking him.
Yeah.
We need that.
We need that. If there was a layup contest, I'm getting Jamal Crawford back out of retirement as well. Let him sign a 10-day. Jamal Crawford, Kyrie Irving, Ja Morant.
Steph?
Nah. All he's got is that.
He's got good finishing.
True.
But it's like...
He's a good finisher at the rim, but...
I'm pretty sure Ja Morant is leading league in...
points in the paint.
Yeah.
And he's 6'2".
Yeah.
Crazy. Does Ja Morant get any MVP consideration? Top 3 seed in the West?
He should.
He's going to get treated like Donovan Mitchell last year.
Okay.
Pretty much. That's what I think.
But he should get some because
the thing is, with MVP, there's kind of like an unwritten thing where it's like there's an understanding that they only vote for players that are already viewed to be superstar MVP caliber, even if they have a case.
Yeah.
like Jokic last year, like
he had to.
Yeah, exactly.
He had to have a historic season to.
It was like it was so obvious you couldn't ignore it.
It was like they were trying
But
really
media
hard.
is just like
they tried to ignore it as much.
They were
as
trying
they
to.
could.
They were trying to hype up any other player all the time at any because it was like it was Jokic versus Embiid, then it was Jokic versus LeBron,
Literally.
then it was Jokic versus Curry. The Curry thing was disrespectful though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Like it was so late in the season as well, and that was shameless because they were in the play.
That was it exactly. I was
They were
gonna
in
say.
the play. I was
like
so
Curry
shameless.
and not Curry, Jokic against Embiid last season was good, but
That's
Jokic
actually-
was injured.
Yeah. But like both of them were putting up very similar all-time numbers, and both their teams are near the top of the conference. So that's an argument you can actually
That was
have.
a legitimate argument
Yeah.
at that
But
point.
Embiid missed like a month, I think, or
Yeah.
so.
If Curry won it without making the playoffs, that would have been insane. Over Jokic,
Let's quickly speak about the MVP race then. In my mind, it's kind of a 3-horse race at the moment. You have Jokic, obviously. You have Giannis, and you have Embiid. Those are the 3 I would put forward. Say if you have someone different in there, but I think those are the 3. I think KD would obviously be there if he wasn't injured. But out of those 3 players, who do you think has the strongest case to win this award?
I would say Jokic personally because did he miss a game? I don't think he missed a game.
I think everyone's missed. I don't think there's a player in the NBA that hasn't missed one.
But
game.
I think he missed the least amount of games, at least, and
I think Kyle Kuzma's missed the least amount of games.
No, I mean between
out of
those 3. Yeah,
I thought you meant the whole league.
No.
My bad.
That's Kuzma. He might be a.
So yeah, I think it's Jokic because he's literally every game it's Jokic against everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Jokic doesn't need a scheduled rest day, does he?
Jokic don't even need competent players around him. Well, he has competent players, but he doesn't even need any stars around him. And he's got the highest PR of all time, right? This season. I mean, I don't think you can ignore that. And I think the one stain against Jokic's bid for MVP was the team record, but now they fixed that. They've been unbelievable in their last 10. So
you already had Jamal Murray out, and then the player that was supposed to step up was Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, but
who's
he got
out.
back problems.
So I mean, what?
yeah, the Nuggets up to the 6th seed, but they're only.
I think they still need to make a bigger push for Jokic to win MVP. I don't think
they're only 2.5 games out of 4 seed. I think if you get up there, then Jokic is probably he runs away with it.
Yeah.
In terms of deserving it, but in terms of media voting for him, that's a different story.
I think after winning last year, media might vote for him more.
Well, it's just,
because last year
it just gets to a point where you're beating a hater and you've just got to appreciate
literally.
greatness. Like
I've seen people because he's what they're 6th now.
they're sick. Yeah,
I've seen people trying to make the case like, if Jokic gets it this year, then they should have given it to Curry last year because they didn't have the top seed. But 6th is a bit different from playing
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look at the teams above them, obviously you'd expect the Jazz to kind of stay in and around there, but I think they could leapfrog the Mavericks. And we've seen. Obviously, Westbrook's season was a once in a lifetime kind of season, but I think if you have the highest PER and you also have the fact that your 2 main guys alongside you are out, I think
Russ had the highest PER at the time as well. I think they changed how PER is calculated after Russ's season.
Really?
Because it was
too high.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And Jokic has 40% probability to win on Basketball References right now.
Is that the highest?
Yeah. Second is Giannis with 20, and then Embiid with 11.
I think Embiid 11's a little bit low.
Yeah.
I think
he's made up
because the Sixers are right out there at the top of the East now. They started quite slowly, but then
East are close.
Yeah, the East is so close.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even closer than when we last talked about it. I think. I think it's literally there's no game separate. What is it?
It's so the Bulls are 1 game ahead, and then but we got into the 1st seed by the Heat losing, so we didn't even have to play. We went up in the standings. Thank you.
5 games between the Hornets and the Bulls.
Yeah.
Even though they lost last night.
Yeah.
3.5 between 6th and 1st.
The Hornets only have 1 less win than the Nets. That's
5.5 between 1st and 9.
Yeah, the East is looking tasty. Yeah. So I did see some tweets. It's a bit scandalous, But people were saying Jimmy Butler deserves some talk,
No.
some MVP talk. What do you think about that?
They're playing well, but it's not because of Jimmy. Like everyone in
But it's like I think it was when people were saying this when the Heat went to the first seed. So it's like the best player on the best team in the East kind of.
But it needs to be like unambiguous.
Pretty sure like he missed
a lot of time.
He missed a lot of time,
He missed
and
a lot
like
of time.
Tyler Hero was just like playing out of his mind like at the start of the season.
Yeah, to be best player on the best team only works if you're actually having like the best season on the best team, not just like everyone knows he's the best player, but he like it's not been clear who's been responsible for their wins.
I think they just like everyone else stepping up for like one game, other like one of the players steps up.
Yeah.
At one point, Max Strus was the best player on that
he
team.
was,
so for like a week or
even
so.
Kyle Guy was balling.
Yeah.
You might not even know the name Kyle Guy if you're listening to this, but B-Tech Jack.
We don't have any casuals.
Well, if we're talking about the best team in the league and the best player, why are none of the Suns boys getting any recognition?
Because I think
they were cancelling each other out.
Yeah,
that's the
I'm
thing.
pretty sure when Curry and Durant was on the same team, because you're voting for one or another, and that makes
it's not clear who's number
and
one.
When you have a duo, it just doesn't work. Like even as we alluded to with Levine and DeRozan.
Yeah.
When it's so similar in stats, it just cancels each other out. Because I remember 2016 as well. For quite a while, I think Russ and KD were like going back and forth for MVP as well, but they're on the same team, so yeah.
Cancelled each other out. Yeah. Well, what about Lamar? Because there was buzz a little bit earlier in the season that he was in that race.
He's 10th in probability.
He's 10th in probability.
1.6. James Harden with 1.99.
I do think the fact that his stats are so similar to Levine's doesn't help him. But and I just think Jokic, those three especially, if you took those three off their respective teams, it's chaos for those teams, obviously.
Well, Maxi stepped up last game.
But you can't. He's not going to do that for a whole season.
That's true.
And Tyrese Maxey isn't carrying a team to the third seed.
Tyrese Maxey has just completely eliminated all of Ben Simmons' leverage.
Yeah. 100%.
Completely. Like.
Well, that's why I found it confusing when the Sixers looked like they were going to trade for a point guard with the Ben Simmons trade, because I don't think they need it. Tyrese Maxey looks like the future point guard of that franchise. So if they've got like a wing and like an elite wing or something, that would make sense. But Tyrese Maxey has emerged as a real star for them, and Joel Embiid has needed that help.
To be fair, if Tyrese on the bench is Korkmaz as a point guard, so do you want Korkmaz as a point guard?
No.
From at least a backup?
I mean, like Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, they're gonna put a hit out, and Tyrese is soon enough.
Yeah.
Like his leverage is completely in the toilet, man.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all we have time for today, right? Anything else we want to discuss?
Shout out to Giddy sweeping Ricky them up.
Quick reserves, as it's today. Today is announced reserves.
Quick All-Star reserves? Okay, quick. Off top of the head.
How many players now in the reserves?
The last 7.
So it's seven more players in each conference?
Yeah, I think
so.
2 backcourt, 3 frontcourt, and 2 wildcards.
Okay. Zach LaVine, out east.
Out east? Yeah, Zach LaVine 100%.
Jalen Tatum. Jalen Tatum? Jason Tatum, sorry. Jalen Brown. That's 3.
Yeah.
But this is tough, because I
Let's
don't
just
know.
throw out players.
This is tough.
Is Jalen Brown a guard or a
Jalen Brown is guard,
Okay.
Tatum is forward.
forward? Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, Darius Garland or your boy.
Jarrett Allen.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen.
I'll go Darius Garland.
To be fair, I think Darius Garland is more than 7 than because Jared Allen, he like.
And I think if the
massive.
Cavs need at least one All-Star, they've been so good.
Oh yeah, they need one.
They need one.
James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden.
Sabonis.
Wait, how many do we have left?
I don't know.
Wait, so we said Zach LaVine, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Darius Garland, James Harden.
5.
2 more. And it's the wild cards, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is where it gets a little bit tough.
Jimmy.
Jimmy's
Jimmy
gotta
at
be,
that point. Yeah.
Jimmy's got
at
to
that
be
point,
all-star.
yeah, put Jimmy in.
So Jimmy,
What about Miles Bridges?
that's a good shout.
I would love to see Miles
So
Bridges.
it's probably like when we're talking, last place will be between.
we're talking about
Does Bradley Beal get?
it's
in there?
coaches.
No.
It's coaches.
It's coaches.
So they're not going to give a 7th seed two All Stars.
How's it? They only have one though.
Yeah, but they're not gonna.
Hornets.
They're not gonna allow. If you know what I mean.
LaMelo and Bridges.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who are we thinking for that last spot then? Jarrett Allen.
Yeah.
Jarrett Allen. Let's give it to
Yeah,
Jarrett
probably.
Allen. And then out west, we'll go. Obviously, Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Oh yeah. That's
locked.
easy.
For Devin Booker.
Draymond Green
Draymond
locked.
Green.
Gobert locked.
Yeah.
Luka locked.
Luka. Oh yeah. He's
Luka
not
locked.
started, yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns locked.
He should be.
Yeah.
He should be.
How many?
I think that's 6. So
One
one
more.
more.
One more.
Dejounte Murray.
Ooh.
He's having
He's-
a
he's-
great
he's-
season.
He's been hooping.
He's
Exactly.
what? He's near triple double, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I'm
crazy.
so
I think
like
he's leading the league
in my
in triple doubles
fantasy.
this year as well. I think.
In fantasy, he's just born for me. I was surprised that I picked up managed to pick.
Oh,
up
we didn't say
this
Donovan
one.
Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell gets
yeah,
in over.
Mitchell's in.
Donovan Mitchell
Yeah,
gets
then
in
yeah,
over
then
DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, so those are very quick and easy all-star reserves. That's the definitive list. It's not going to change.
Next week we can talk about the reserves.
To be fair, I think the
Actual
West
reserves.
was like we went through that very quickly. I think that was very set in stone.
Yeah, in East, I guess.
Well, yeah, we had a lot to pick from players that didn't get picked over Wiggins. So
But yeah, all-star reserves are announced tonight. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But that's what we have time for today. I know Matas, you're off to work soon, so
Yeah, still have time though. So.
also, what is it? Monty Williams coaching for the
Yeah.
West? Yeah, he's gonna
Who is
play.
the East coach?
I don't actually.
I know that Monty Williams is the West coach.
Could it be Billy Donovan?
I actually don't know who it is. Have they?
But yeah, he's gonna give Wiggins about 5 minutes at the start, and then this is it for him.
And it's gonna be Chris Paul. It's gonna be a Chris Paul and Devin Booker. Actually, no, he might not want to play them. Keep
Oh
them
yeah,
healthy.
yeah. A lot of them just is gonna play their rival. Yeah, Curry's gonna play like 40
Yeah,
minutes.
same when Nick Nurse did it with Kemba Walker.
Nick Nurse he completely
literally
grinded his knees out.
Yeah,
That was the
because
end of him.
he
That
was-
Okay,
the end of
so
him.
Injured and like he just
they will
go play.
they will pick the East
funny.
All-Star head coach with whichever team has the best record in the East on the 6th of February.
Oh, and it's like right now everyone are close.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have no
can't
idea.
they can't name a definitive coach,
Fair.
but obviously because the Suns are a few games out ahead,
Yeah.
it's been selected
Yeah,
as Monty
yeah.
Williams.
That's mad.
So it
So
might
it,
well
it
be
can be
Billy
Billy
Donovan.
Donovan, Spoelstra.
But it could
Doc
also
Rivers.
be Spoelstra. It could be Doc Rivers,
It can be Budenholzer.
Budenholzer. Could even be JB Bickerstaff.
Yeah.
So
Literally anyone.
the thing is, now in the East, if you lose 3 games in a row, you could be down to 7th.
Yeah.
That's the
you can
reality
go to
of
play
it
in.
now.
To be fair, I can't remember last time like East were this close.
Yeah, neither can I. I think it's because LeBron left. Like when
No, I
LeBron,
think
when LeBron
everyone
was,
stepped
People are
up,
overstating
stepped
it.
up in the
There's
East.
a lot of better teams in the East.
no,
now.
there is, but like usually the ones he was kind of for a while. Obviously, in the last few years in the Cavs,
Yeah,
the
it's not
Cavs
the
are
same
sometimes
East,
the
though.
third or second seed. But when he first went back, the Cavs just
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah. But I don't
if you
think
look that first seed up.
he's not carrying the 2018 Cavs to the finals in this East.
Looking at the Bulls' schedule up to the 6th of February, it's Raptors, Pacers, Sixers.
Should be at least 2 wins.
Oh, I don't know. Raptors are good, you know. We've played them a few times. So Raptors when they're healthy.
Gary Trent Jr. is going off.
Yeah, Gary Trent Jr. is
That's
going
true.
off. Pascal Siakam's having a good season. Fred VanVleet's having a great season as well.
They got a
Scotty Barnes. I mean,
OG.
I said this before, but the Raptors could be a speed bump for someone in
And
that first round.
Miami playing Spurs, Charlotte before the 6th. So Hornets and Spurs.
Yeah, they're getting that.
They should get that.
They're getting that.
Yeah, Eric Spoelstra is the coach of the East.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, they got beaten by 30 by the Celtics the other day. So.
Focus on making the playoffs first. Anyway.
Oh, shush. Three game winning streak.
Where are you guys? Where are you guys up to now?
A 9th. Because Raptors won
I
last.
thought you were gonna say like
Because Raptors won yesterday as well.
The ninth.
Yeah,
ninth.
9th.
I mean, I guess you're only like 2 games behind the Nets.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
fair enough.
But you're saying make the playoffs first, but your team still hasn't actually touched the playoffs yet. And
Yeah.
his team's been in the playoffs for what? When's the last time you missed? Did you miss it last season?
Nah.
Oh, you made it
We
through
played
the-
Nets. We played Nets
Oh, you
last
played the
season.
First round, didn't you?
Yeah.
Hey, look.
So let's wait till it's official, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, because I remember. I will
you
always
being-
remember.
Yeah, I always remember winners of the trade.
We got Vucevic. We 100% making playoffs now.
Yeah, but I thought we were getting Orlando Vucevic, and we didn't. We did not get Orlando Vucevic at all. But we're making the playoffs.
Who knows?
Yeah.
DeMar might go into playoff form. You never know.
Oh, I
never know.
really hope not.
Wait, would it be Levine's first playoffs?
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be.
And how old is he?
26.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I think this is his 8th year in the league, and he came in as an 18-year-old. 26, right?
Yeah,
26.
he's gonna be 27 this year.
Okay.
No
Hey, look.
playoffs, yeah. Nice.
I think we might run into each other in the playoffs.
If you
I
will,
just feel it. I don't know why. I just feel it. And I think it would be,
I don't know.
It would be a good series.
we'll see. It would be good.
It would be a very good
It would be
series.
a good series.
Because every time we played this year, it's been quite close.
Yeah, we bottled the one game.
Yeah, but then Vooch missed that wide open free
Yeah.
to win it.
So we have still 2 games to play.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But thank you everyone for joining us today. We're out. Peace.